Hello, my dear students of class 8. Today we will read a very important and interesting poem, that is Geography Lesson by Julpikar Ghosh. From the title, you can think that you are going to read about geography subject in English, but in reality, something different is there. We will read that and we will explain. So before starting the poem, we will read the few lines that we have. Can you imagine what your city would look like if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? Can you think what your city would look like if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? Neatly planned, properly, clearly planned, and perfect in proportion. Proportionally perfect means this side same proportion, that side same proportion, like geometric design. Means in geometric design, that in kind of geometry like square, cube, triangle, so rectangle, trapezium, so kind of geometric design that you make the proportion, sometimes this side, that side, same proportion, and it would strike you as something very different from what it actually is while you are in the thick of it. And it would strike you as something very different from what it actually is. Okay, it would strike you something very different from what it actually is. Actually, it is not properly planned, right? But from that height, you will think something different when you are in the thick of it, when you are in the opposite side of it. Here is a poet's description of just such a view of the city and some questions that come to his mind. Here the poem is about the thinking process of the poet. The poet was traveling by aeroplane, okay, and he was watching the city below the airplane, okay, and the way he was observing, he was writing that when the jet sprang into the sky, right, spring then sprang, means went upward movement, okay. So the jet means aeroplane sprang into the sky. It was clear why the city had developed the way it had. It was clear to the poet why the city had developed the way it had, seeing it scale 6 inches to the mile, and it seemed to the poet a mile as if 6 inches, okay. And there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned, and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. And when he sprang into the sky, he observed, he watched the city as planned, neatly planned, and with style. But on ground, it looked haphazard, unplanned, without style. But when it sprang into the sky, from that height, it looked as if the city had been planned neatly, properly, carefully. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. The logic of geography, that land and water attracted man, was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. So when the jet reached 10,000 feet from the ground, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran. Means from that height, the poet was able to see the cities were developed beside the rivers. So he could relate that. And the valleys were populated. The logic of geography, that land and water attracted man. Where there is land and water, the people will go and will set up villages, means towns, cities, okay, societies. So that's why populated was clearly delineated, shown clearly, shown visible when the jet reached 10,000 feet, according to the poet. When the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. From that height only it was possible to observe that the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. Because from that height only you can observe the color of the water only, right? That's why. Now, but it was difficult to understand that men on earth found causes to hate each other. Now the important paragraph, right? So it was difficult to understand that men on earth found causes, reasons to hate each other. Means there are many reasons to hate each other. To build walls across cities and to kill from that height. It was not clearly why. To build walls across cities. To build, to set up walls. Walls means kind of walls of the mind. Walls of the that separation. This nation, that nation, or the walls of means that prejudice, superstition, problems. That was not clearly visible from the height. So according to the poet, he was able to observe everything, but he was not able to observe the thing why people hate each other and why they fight, why do they fight, why do they kill, why do they do bloodshed. All these things were not clearly visible, okay, to the poet, right? That is the inner meaning. So the title is geography lesson, but the poet is actually talking about something else, the importance of humanity. But nowadays someone is killing others in the name of something, right? That should be stopped, okay. So the invisible walls across the cities and to kill from that height, that it was not clearly why do they kill. That's all. Thank you.